Hey, how we doing on this Friday night, Vol Nation? This is Frank Rock. This is the House Foreign Sports Channel coming at you. Go take a little break from Portal for once this week. Go take a little break from Portal. We'll talk some basketball. Number 1, Tennessee. Number 23, Arkansas. Tomorrow, Knoxville, 1 o'clock. ESPN, if I'm not mistaken on that. But this will be the first, of course, game of SEC play. We've all said it. We've talked about it. We think that SEC play is going to be knockdown, drag out this year. It is going to be wild, to say the least, as we look into it. And, of course, you've got Barnes, Calipari. They are good friends, but it's still interesting when they get together with their teams. And then, of course, you got Jonas Aidoo returning to Knoxville tomorrow. Curious to see what the reaction is from the Knoxville faithful. It was announced today the game is a sellout, which is pretty cool as well. So let's get right in that. Before we do, hit that like, that share, and if you have not already, hit that subscribe button as well. Thank you guys so much for your support here along the way. Go take a look at Arkansas roster. A lot of these names are going to sound familiar with you, as numerous guys come down from Kentucky. Of course, you got Aidoo coming from Tennessee. So looking at their roster, look at their main guys. You got Aidoo Thero, come from Kentucky with Calipari, 17.8 points per game, 5.8 rebounds. Freshman Boogie Fland, 15.9 points per game, 3.5 rebounds. And he shoots about 40% from three-point range. DJ Wagner, come down from Kentucky as well, 9.9 points per game. John L. Davis, 9.2. Zvonimir Ivicic, 8.9 points per game, 3.7 rebounds. He is about 7'2", 240, 245 in that range. I'm curious to see how that works out. Trevin Brazil, 7.2 points per game, 5.3 rebounds. You got true freshman Carter Knox, 6.9. Jonas Aidoo on the season, averaging 6.3 points, 4 rebounds. But I was reading a little bit earlier where, let me find the game notes here. In his last 5 games, it said, who's hot right now. And it mentioned Aidoo. Now, the last game against Oklahoma, it says he did not play much due to illness. But his last healthy game, he had 17 points, 11 rebounds. And over his last 4 games, he's averaging 12.3 points, 7.3 rebounds per game, 9 blocks, 4 steals, 4 assists along the way. So Aidoo's starting to play better ball right now. It's, of course, it's a good basketball team, and we have some comparisons to make with them. That's kind of the interesting thing about Arkansas's schedule, is we do have comparisons. Now, when I look at just the stats on the season, comparison of stats, Ken Palm actually is not as high on Arkansas as the polls are. Ken Palm has Arkansas ranked 37th. Of course, they have Tennessee 3rd as well. According to Ken Palm, Tennessee has the number 19 offensive rating, number 2 defensive rating. Arkansas has the number 52 offensive rating, number 23 defensive rating as well. My one concern with Arkansas is their length. They do have size. How will Tennessee, kind of combat with the size of Arkansas here as well? So that's going to be something to see. How does Tennessee hang with that? Because if you look down the roster, you've got the guys that play. Davis, 6'4". He came from Florida Atlantic. He was one of the top transfer guys in the portal. Boogie Fland, 6'2". Thero, 6'8", 220. Of course, like I said, he came from Kentucky. Brazil, 6'10", 230, come from Missouri. And I'm going on the guys who play. Of course, Aidoo, 6'11". Carter Knox, 6'6". DJ Wagner, 6'4". Ivicic is 7'2". And so that's, to me, looks like your main guys in terms of Arkansas. Now, if you go, of course, I didn't mention Billy Richmond the third. He's 6'5" himself. So it's a pretty good size roster. I mean, you compare it to Tennessee's roster. On the other hand, I mean, if I look down Tennessee's roster, you've got, of course, Boswell. I'm just going down there at 6'4", Dubar 6'6", Gainey 6'4", Lanier 6'5", Meshack 6'4", Milicic 6'10", Akpara 6'11", Phillips 6'9", Ziegler 5'9". So Tennessee has some ways they can match up with them. And the key to me is going to be Akpara has got to be, we've got to get the good Felix Akpara in this game. We have to get the guy who's staying in. He has to stay out of foul trouble with some of this size they have. I feel Milicic will be reliable to do his thing. Dubar is going to have to add some minutes as well. He played really well against Illinois. I don't really think he's added a lot since then. And so I don't know why. I don't know what that means along the way. But Tennessee's going to have those guys. In SEC play now, you're going to have to bring it every single night, no matter if you're at home or if you're on the road. Well, I like Tennessee's chances because it's at home. Tennessee rarely, and knock on wood, they don't lose at home often. So I like Tennessee's chances in this game. I think Tennessee's a better team. Now, I mentioned there are some comparison here as far as schedule goes. Arkansas has played similar teams. Arkansas lost to Baylor in the second game of the season, 72-62. Arkansas lost to Illinois, which was another neutral site game, 90-77. Arkansas beat Miami at Miami 76-73. So we have those three games in common so far as far as your Power 5 games. And, that Illinois win is going to look better and better down the stretch. They started Big Ten play last night and drilled Oregon on the road. That was a really good win. That was a good team, and that was a day where Tennessee was not their best. But Illinois had a lot to do with that. Let's make no mistake about it. Tennessee did not play their best offensively, and they were still able to get out with that win. That says a lot about this Tennessee team. The big concern with Tennessee is going to be their depth, but right now, you've got what you need. If you get no more injuries, you're fine. No more injuries, and you're fine with this. Again, the key to me is going to be Akpara. You're brought in to be that man in the middle. The guy who's on the other side in these big SEC games did not get it done. The guy on the other side in the last two games against Creighton and Purdue no-showed in the biggest games of the year last year, and he sat over there with a towel over his head against Purdue while Tobe Awaka, JP Estrella sat in there and battled. And it, frankly, by the guy hitting the portal when he did, cost us Tobe Awaka as well. I think that's a pretty well-known fact at this point. Not sure why Awaka didn't come back because it doesn't seem like it's working out for him at Arizona, but still yet, it is what it is. Aidoo's going to be fired up. He's going to get the shit boot out of him tomorrow, and rightfully so. Rightfully so, based on the way, not because he transferred, because of the way he ended the season, because I felt like he quit on this team and they needed him the most. We'll see how it goes tomorrow. Again, they've got good guards. Their wing play is good. Nothing stands out rebounding-wise. Looking at the stats, team comparison of stats here. Nothing really, a lot of this to me looks like a team Tennessee will handle. Now, of course, you get a team that comes in red hot or something. We've seen how it goes. Like Kentucky last year, the last game of the regular season. They were red hot. It didn't matter if Tennessee was in their face. If they left them open, they were on fire that game. But scoring offense, Arkansas they score 82.5 per game, Tennessee 80.1. Here's a big difference. Tennessee holds opponents to 56.2 points per game. They're second in the nation on that. Arkansas 65.5. Scoring margin, Tennessee 23.8, Arkansas about 17. Arkansas does shoot a higher field goal percentage at 51.5 to right at 49 for Tennessee. Field goal defense, this is a big difference. Tennessee second in the nation field goal defense at 34.7 per game. Arkansas 78th at 40.8% per game. 3-point percentages. Arkansas shoots a little higher percentage at 36.8. Tennessee's 35.5. I'm kind of confused. I think Arkansas, it looks like they make about 8 threes per game. It says 801, so they wouldn't rank 161st if they made 801 per game. Tennessee ranks 8.8. 3-point percentage defense. Tennessee actually ranks first in the nation, and at 24.6 on that. Field goal, free throw attempts per game. Tennessee gets to the line about 2 more per game. Tennessee shoots about 3 percentage points higher on free throws. Tennessee out rebounds Arkansas by a little less than 3 per game. Their rebounding margin difference, Tennessee's 9.5, Arkansas's 5.2. Assist to turnover, Tennessee 1.56, Arkansas 1.39. They're actually identical in assists per game at 16.8. Their turnover margin, Tennessee's is plus 3.5, Arkansas 2.1 to it. Tennessee has less turnovers per game. They're pretty even in steals per game, fouls per game. They're pretty even. Blocks per game, they're pretty even. And both teams rank top 15 in the nation in blocks per game. Bench points, Tennessee gets more out of their bench, according to the stats, than Arkansas. Arkansas is more of a fast break team, according to the stats, than Tennessee here as well. A lot of advantages for me with it. And I think the main guy you got to look out for is Boogie Fland. The last game, he had 24.6 assists. Of course, Thero is one you got to watch as well. Get in and rough Jonas Aidoo up, and you'll take him out of the game. We've seen it. If it's a physical team, they can take him out of the game. If Tennessee will play him that way, they should have the book on him tomorrow. Because, Jonas Aidoo is a good player. Okay, let's make no mistake about it. But I think if you rough him up, you can give him trouble with it tomorrow. And it's going to be a hostile environment tomorrow for him as well. He didn't necessarily play his best in hostile environments last year either. That'll be a lot of the focus. You'll know they'll talk about that in the game tomorrow. But bottom line for Tennessee, come out and do your thing. Play your game. And we'll see where it goes from there. I like Tennessee's chances coming out of the gate. And then, it's only going to get tougher from here. Going to Florida next week. And then we go from there. But I'll be live with you right after the game tomorrow, right around probably 3 o'clock or so, depending on when it's over. I hope you'll join me for that. But in the meantime, have a great rest of your evening. This is Frank. This is the House of Orange. Last but most certainly not least, go Vols.